suggested and installed into her all the time by other people that she was this anxious child and she had a problem with anxiety, and she was put on so much medication from a very young age, and she really didn't need to be honest, but I'll get to that. But in the process, she had an awful period throughout school. She was sectioned, and medicated even more. She was having serious reactions to the medication, and that in itself was actually causing her to be more anxious. So it was a complete vicious cycle. She couldn't understand herself. She was getting even more frustrated, and this actually in itself created an anxious problem, because she just couldn't understand who she was, and she didn't know how to think about things, and she didn't have anybody to help her. So it was almost as if she was trapped in herself. And she'd seen countless people, psychiatrists, counsellors, and obviously she'd been sectioned and just put on different medication to try and counter these awful side effects. And it had come to the point where her mum was despairing because she just didn't know how to help her. Jasmine herself had got to the point where she was contemplating ending her own life because she couldn't understand herself. And then as one last attempt, her mum actually noticed the Pinnacle practice, which is my day-to-day practice, and I received an email to ask if I thought I could help Jasmine. So without a doubt, I said, yes, of course, bring her in, and, we'll talk things and we'll go through it. Now, understandably, they were both very sceptical, and at that particular point, Jasmine was feeling very down, so she was on quite a low point. So she really didn't want to be dragged out of the house to come and see me. However, when she did come, one of the first things after we'd, just been talking a while, she said to me, "So what do you think is wrong with me?" And I said, "Absolutely nothing. I do not think you're an anxious person at all. I think you've been overly medicated, and that's masking the problem." But I was able to see something straight into her core, and I just didn't believe that she was this anxious person. And I know one of her frustrations when she'd been seeing people was that they were all saying to her, "Oh, there must be a root, there must be a trigger that, why you're an anxious person." And actually, as I read all her medical notes and I'd gone through all her personal history, there wasn't really anything that stood out to me. And I noticed that she'd been having these terrible reactions to the medication as well. So to start with, that was alarm bells for me, because I thought, well, her body's naturally rejecting all this medication. That's the body's natural way of saying, it's not right. So I explained that to her, but I also explained how sometimes there doesn't have to be, there's always a root to everything, but there doesn't always have to be a bad root as to why somebody may be anxious. There's lots of problems. And in Jasmine's case, I had to explain that I thought she was just highly intuitive, and the feelings that she felt when she was young were actually just her mind alerting her to something not being quite right, something that needed addressing, and certainly a personal history suggested that. But it wasn't a problem per se that needed medicating. So we did some work, we cleared out the roots, and I helped Jasmine through a process of reducing her medication. And so she was able to come completely off the medication, and then release any other negative emotions that had built up. And I still see Jasmine now because we do a process of evolution, and she actually does some work with me in helping other people to overcome anxiety as an ambassador for positive change, to tell people that, there can be something done about it even when you're at your lowest point. So really the core of Jasmine's anxiety was actually a great gift that she had in terms of a hyper-intuitiveness and alertness. But I always say with any form of anxiety, it's actually a really good thing, because in any case, whatever the root of it is, it's literally just your body, your mind telling you that something is wrong, something just needs addressing. So that may be something psychologically, there may be some trauma, a root cause in that respect causing the anxiety that is your mind is telling you that needs addressing and clearing up. Or it may be even something physical, because there are lots of physical ailments that can actually cause anxiety. So thyroid disorders, even perimenopause, Lyme's disease, there's all kinds of factors. Even it's very rare, but certain brain tumours can produce adrenaline that can cause anxiety. So that there are lots of reasons, but the fact that your mind is creating this anxiety, it's giving you that alert to think, I need to do something about it, or I need to work out what needs addressing. It may be that you are an extremely intuitive person, and therefore it's your mind alerting you to something in life that isn't quite right. And again, you need to address and redress that balance. So that, right, if you look at it always as a good thing, as something that you can find a solution to.
Right. I think once we go along in life, we can look at all the things that happen, even some of the heaviest or darkest, as a gift. Not a gift that it happened, but a gift of what comes after. So with that said, we need to take our break. Everyone stay with us and be comfortable to give us a call. Bob is in the house, 833-220-1200. We'll be back in a moment.
Take a journey to a place of the divine love within with Deborah Beauvais on the Love by Intuition Show, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. Eastern. Our message is love in the purest form. The light within us all is a guide to recall our beginning, to learn to love self and humankind, and to feel the higher power of our own divinity. To attract love, one needs to be love. Come join us and step into this glorious vibration called love.
Ever wonder what it's like to have your own radio show? Well, wonder no longer, because you can dip into the radio airwaves by being host for the day on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. It's a fabulous way to get your radio feet wet. It's an opportunity to market your business, modality, or book. Have a guest, mention a sponsor, and take callers. Or you may want to facilitate a lesson by going solo. It's up to you. Listeners can be online, mobile, in cars with Bluetooth, or listen through Amazon's Echo by asking, Alexa, play Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. For more details, go to dreamvision7radio.com and click on Host for the Day.
After narrowly surviving the attack on Sandy Hook Elementary, first grade teacher Caitlin Royd DeBellis was left searching for answers that would never come. Eventually, she chose to focus on questions that could be answered. How do I make sure this tragedy doesn't define us? How do we get our control back? Those two questions led her to found the 501c3 nonprofit organization Classes for Classes. When gifts poured into their classroom, she decided they would help someone else by paying it forward and being kind. This developed into a social network which allows K-8 classrooms to connect so that every student in the United States can learn these crucial lessons. Classes for Classes' mission is to build students' social-emotional intelligence by connecting them to care. All C4C projects are crowd-funded. Any teacher in the U.S. can visit classesforclasses.org. That's classes, 4, classes.org. Sign up today.
Looking for a fun and relaxing getaway? Omega Rest and Rejuvenation Retreats are a great way to unwind and renew your spirit. Stroll through the garden, relax by the lake, or try a daily yoga or movement class. You can stretch your body, quiet your mind, and do as much or as little as you choose. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back, and you're listening to Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. We're the media partner for the Omega Institute in Rhinebeck, New York. And coming up in the following months, starting in May, you'll be hearing certain workshops where you, the listener, could attend for 20% off. So remember that that's coming up soon. We are with Dr. M. She is the author of Out of Your Comfort Zone, and we're talking about all kinds of things that we can do if we take the journey. And Dr. M, I know you can validate this. Once we wake up and realize that we are conscious being, and there's such a wider range or purpose why we're here, you can't go back, correct? I mean, you can't go back in your little cocoon or put your head in the sand.
Well, you could do, but it wouldn't be much fun. No, I think whether we, whatever happens in life, good, bad, or indifferent, we're always moving forward. So sometimes, I have clients say to me, I'm really stuck in the mud. And I'll say, well, hang on a minute. This being stuck in the mud at that particular time, is still part of the process. You're still going forward, because as you're stuck in the mud, there's still things to learn, and, you'll still be collecting certain resources that will help you to go forward. So everything that happens, as I said, good, bad, or indifferent, you're always moving forward on the path somewhere. But the more you release negative emotion, the more you become self-aware, and the more you're aware of what you actually want in life, that will just speed up your trajectory going forward. But there is, as we go on the journey of life, there's always something so important to learn, and it's once we do learn that things start to really change and happen for us, and allow us to meet with our true core blueprint in life. So essentially the answers are always there for us. It really just depends on how in tune we are with ourselves as to how quickly we realize that, and how much of a break we give ourselves to be able to get to where we want to be in life.
Yes. Do you think we all have a purpose and a blueprint here on Earth? We're not just, going out buying new shoes. That's not our purpose. I mean, how do you feel about that? Did we all come with a definite blueprint and purpose?
Yes, I think we do, but I think sometimes people don't always realize it, and you have to go on a certain journey in life until that becomes apparent to you. But we do certainly all have a purpose, and there's so much to life and so much you can do, and it's about being able to explore and to find what your purpose is, and to find what your blueprint is, and what makes you happy, what gives you joy, and looking around what kind of things you want in life, where do you want to ideally live, what gives you joy in doing on a day-to-day basis. Is it about having money, or is it about more than that? What is it for every individual that gives them personal purpose? And certainly in the book I have the life discovery model, and as you've mentioned before, Deborah, I do ask a lot of questions, and the questions are leading people constantly to find their personal purpose and go on a journey of introspection as well, so you can go deep within yourself to find the answers, because they're there within us innate within us, and that again it forms part of our intuition really. And you know, we only use about 10% of the brain, the conscious brain, so that leaves us with a whole huge 90% that's